A million trillion years ago, I used to eat at a fabulous macrobiotic joint in the East Village of New York City called Angelica's. This is the newer version of it. It no longer exists, so it's sort of sad. Like, I can't even show you like an actual picture of the original one, which was in a tiny little place, and there were like even some wooden school desks there for people that were solid, that wanted to like eat alone and didn't want anyone to join their table. So it was sort of known as a restaurant that respected the introvert, as it were, but it had communal tables as well. Here this one sort of shows a little bit of the kind of lengthy table or whatever. And the new one that came about was not strictly macrobiotic, and by that I mean there were dishes with potato, tomato, and those were items that were members of the nightshade family and therefore were verboten in the land of the true macrobiotic, which the original one was. And it's fascinating when you remove tomato and potato, eggplant as well, there are other things, but tomato and potato, it's wild how much of the American diet centers around tomato and potato. So I loved getting away from tomato potato, and the best spaghetti sauce ever was a beet sauce made at Angelica's with buckwheat noodles. So yeah, I think we kind of get into having the same things too much. It still was a nice atmosphere, but it didn't have, there were like big baskets that were just sort of nailed to rough-hewn walls that were full of pumpkins and squash. It was sort of like you were eating in the kitchen at the old place. The new one was just sort of more your standard New York place, but all things must pass, right? Everything is ephemeral, but I'm trying to hold on to a little bit of it for you here so that you can have that experience at home. It's only a few ingredients, and you will be rewarded on days when you don't know what to eat, or if you're burnt out, or you've been working too much, or you've got the blahs. Definitely do. And Angelica's. Many blessings. Greetings, everyone. It's a wonderful and cold day in midsummer in the Northwest, and sometimes it's wonderful to have a nice afternoon macrobiotic snack. And the first ingredients, tahini. Combine in a bowl. We have lemon floating on top right now of the sesame seed tahini. Now you have your tamari. Stir, and then add another ingredient, the final one, but equally important, and that will be a touch of water. It takes it from being a paste and brings it into more of a batter. This simple but delectable recipe comes from an amazing macrobiotic, super strictly macrobiotic, although it did get kind of sold in the middle years and now no longer exists, but back in the day, this was an amazing dressing. And you know, you can add a hint of sesame oil to it if you want it to have a slightly smokier flavor, but I just sort of love the lemon, the really top quality. You want top, best you can find, Tamari. And see, it's still a little thick. I'm going to add a little bit more water. And this is going to go over, this goes over many wonderful things. Greens, we're going to do kale. It's great on squash. Still a little thick. Hello again. I added more water, and this is more like it. I think you can all understand pretty well about that. And now we will check our, oh look, it isn't that beautiful? The horseman of the Middle East prize sesame because of its strengthening properties. And in macrobiotics, which I used to really adhere to, and I was glad to have done it, it's a happy part of life, really believed that the smaller the seed, the more potent the, I don't know, whatever it is you're going to ingest, sesame seeds being very small, they would be more potent than, say, a macadamia nut seed or a garbanzo seed. What I'm going to do now, just because I had some on hand, is toss in a little bit of our, isn't that fun? I found a little ginger on hand, and it's very fresh. That's another thing you want to do, is always cook with things that are most wonderfully fresh. You'll be rewarded for it. So here is going to be a dish, and this was from Angelica's kitchen in New York in Greenwich Village, and it was definitely a staple there. And it's always nice just to freshen up, right, with a little bit more lemon right before serving. It's always nice. It's the best thing, really. If you make this, you will smile. Bon appetit, beautiful people. This will make you feel great. And remember, you do not have to have a steamer. In fact, they like it if you put it in like maybe an inch of cold water and let the liquid be absorbed. You know, use a good water and let the liquid be absorbed. When you steam it, you get less liquid. And macrobiotics is all about eating suspended liquids, not just doing the kind of, you know, chugging water and waterlogging your cells. This is a more elegant, more efficient way to transfer moisture into your system, and it will be moisture that is laden with nutrients. I wish you all the very best, right? Did we say it already? Bon appetit.